Yakuza, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Or I think it's just Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. On the PlayStation 4, this is the second video. I already completed my first video, which gets me past the first 44 minutes of the story, the prologue. And the prologue's actually been very good. This game and the original Like a Dragon have exceptionally good prologues. So, to their credit, they are stories that I actually want to follow. So, and this game I think came out in like 2024, so this might be on my best of the year list based on the story. Maybe not so much because of the combat, but we'll see how that goes. What I wanted to do was to go to the Sasaki Arcade, which has a couple of older games. There is the Sega Bass Fishing, the easy cabinet. The easy mode for Sega Bass Fishing is there. But they also have Spikeout, a 3D polygonal brawler that came out, I think, right around, was it 97? I want to say it came out in the late 90s. I want to say it also came out after the Die Hard arcade game, if you remember that. Obviously, the licensing issues might prevent M2 from doing a port of that game. But Spikeout seems interesting. We'll get to that in a second. I promise. Later in the video, we'll add some Spikeout content, and then we'll make a separate video where we just play Spikeout. Mischievous Thug. No cutscene. Sorry, no spoken dialogue for this part, so that's fine. I think she's important later. I forget. To be fair, I forgot most of the story that I played a couple of months ago. Basically, our protagonist is currently working as a temp worker. Not as a temp worker. He's working as a job placement specialist. Basically, he helps people find jobs. Like you're back in the United States, there were companies like Manpower and Advantage Staffing Services, and I think they're still in business. Honestly, I think Manpower used to be pretty big. But when I was growing up back in the late 90s, early 2000s, there would be staffing agencies that would help you find, in my case, it was, clerical work. In other words, I was doing documentation for people who needed to use special software. Because I had competence in computer science, so they hired me to do clerical work. But anyway. It's basically what this guy does. I think this game also takes place after the bubble in the 1980s, when the bubble burst in the late 80s, like basically after Akira came out. But that's another issue entirely. So we have turn-based fights in this game. We have radius-based movement. And the enemies will kind of dance around you as you move within the circle. The idea is we're supposed to get close to the enemies, or in this case, we're going to stand here right next to the bicycle and pick it up and use it as a weapon. Just like in Judgment and the older Yakuza games. But again, this is turn-based now. Fine. Triangular icon will appear when you're near a usable object. Letting attack player to pick it up and use it as a weapon. You can do this with traffic cones and bicycles and maybe even mopeds. So let's pick up... Yeah, attack. I want to attack. Can I attack both of these guys? Whatever. He's down. I want to see if I can take both of them out, but I guess it wasn't going to happen. Oh, he's not dead yet. Wow. It's going to get a few more chips on me. He's not going to do that much damage. Don't worry about it. At this point in the game, the enemies don't do that much damage. Food is cheap. So if you need to replenish your health, that's easily done without having to spend a bunch of money. If you're close to the enemy, you get a proximity bonus, and you can also you can also knock enemies into other enemies, as you'll see here. Whoops. Well, we knocked him into the back wall, so that helped. But that's not what I wanted to do. I should have gone after the weakest enemy, but whatever. And see, enemies you can launch enemies backwards, like into the walls or into other environmental objects. So that's why that first guy went down. And being able to knock enemies into other enemies is a nice touch. Like in Final Fight. Like I said, we're not taking too much damage. We'll be fine. So knock him into him. Didn't work. I didn't line it up properly. There's an arrow behind that enemy that shows which direction he's going to go when you knock him back. So that green arrow at the enemy's feet tells you where the enemy is going to fly backwards. So we'll play enough so that we can get to the arcade, then we'll skip ahead till later in the game. I will show you the cutscenes, because like I said, the cutscenes in this game are actually pretty good so far. But again, what I want to ultimately do, because I want to say this game has a couple. This has a couple of other arcade games in it, but I'm not sure which ones. There's also another Yakuza game I'm supposed to play. I want to say Lost Judgment. The sequel. I played Judgment on this channel earlier. It's like several years ago, and the sequel to that, which preceded this game, was Lost Judgment. Or at least I think I want to say it preceded this game, but I want to say it came out before Like a Dragon, which came out in 2020. Because Like a Dragon was a launch title for the PlayStation 5 and the Series X, and which again I think it's hilarious because the argument is that the best game that got released within the launch window of the PlayStation 5 at the time was this game. Well, not this game, but Like a Dragon. So what were the best? So again, for people who complain about this generation of the modern consoles, the current generation of consoles, for people who bought a PlayStation 5 or a Series X in 2020 when supplies were more limited, what does it say that the best games were, that the best game in that new generation of consoles? Like if you bought a new console, what's the best game to buy? Oh, Demon's Souls, which is a remake of a PS3 game. And this, well not this, but Like a Dragon, which is a turn-based game, which could have been made on the Switch. And I think it actually did get released on the Switch. I'll double check. I don't know if the Switch, I hope the Switch got a port of Like a Dragon, because that's supposed to be one of the best games in the franchise. I don't know if any, didn't the older Yakuza games get a remaster on the Switch? I forget. Like not the new ones, but the older Yakuza games. I don't know. But they'll definitely be on the Switch, too. They keep making these games, and I'm not complaining. So we're going to the arcade. So we'll duck and dodge and make sure we don't run into anyone who's going to attack us. And I meant to mention this. There's another arcade up here. There are... How do I say this? There are Pokem... For all you Beyonce fans, this is Hold'em. Unfortunately, it's locked behind these red gates, like in Grand Theft Auto 3. So you can't get to this area of the game where the hard, like the serious Mahjong players go. You need a bunch of money to... there's a big buy-in to get in. This is the arcade I want to get to, because I want to say they might have newer, or not newer games. They might have harder games, like Virtua Fighter 5. Virtua Fighter 2 might be there. I don't know. They might have Fantasy Zone. But what I love about these Yakuza games that they have a very good collection of mini games. Like they'll have like baseball batting cages and Mahjong parlors. And I've played Mahjong on this channel with Yakuza before, which I will do it again. I played a lot of Mahjong back when I lived in Texas, back in the early 2000s. My Filipino friend taught me how to play, so it's amazing. I actually know a thing or two about Mahjong. I'm the second blackest Mahjong player you know. So I'm that other guy. I'm that other guy who plays Mahjong. Except I don't actually live in Japan. Could I teach Mahjong to people? I don't feel comfortable enough playing Mahjong to teach anyone the rules. But I'm comfortable enough to play video games that... I'm comfortable enough to play video game simulations of Mahjong. Like this one. And here's your arcade. When you're installing the game, it's not available right away. When I first started playing this game an hour ago, it needed about 15 minutes to install this. And they needed 15 more minutes to install all of the Mahjong tables. So that the mini games here aren't available right away. So we got Sega Bass Fishing over here and Spikeout. As I've said before, Spikeout is a 3D polygonal brawler that looks like it's from the 90s. It looks kind of like Die Hard Arcade. Again, if you remember that game. It's also very highly regarded. The camera is really annoying. We'll get to that later. And this is the infamous Sega Bass Fishing. Not the other infamous Sega fishing game, which I think would have been Seaman. which I've never played, but this was the game with the special controller, which I think is kind of hilarious. We'll sample that later. But for now, we'll sample Spikeout. We're not going to play the whole game. We're just going to sample it a bit. I don't know how to play the game. In fact, let me back out. I already saved my game here. Let me check on something. There is an autosave, is there not? Yeah, I do have an autosave somewhere. Well, yeah, there's one right here. I'll make a manual save here, because if you're going to play an arcade game, it costs virtual money to play it, so we're going to keep the money in our pockets while we do this. Let me see if I can turn down the audio, because like I said, I want to be able to hear myself think. I'll splice in a different bit of audio later with a better sound mix, but for now, we'll turn things down. I don't know if I can adjust the volume here. We'll turn it up if we have to. To use headphones, choose devices, okay. So I didn't adjust that accordingly, so whatever. You can adjust your surround sound if you want for a turn-based action. For a turn-based game, there you go, I suppose. So we'll turn that down a bit so I can hear myself think. We'll turn it up when we're done. They don't tell you how to play till the game loads. And once the game loads, they will tell you what the buttons do, but they tell you nothing else. There are 4 buttons. There's a jump button, I believe 3 attack buttons, and you can also charge up one of your attacks, which I think is just a regular punch button. So I guess there might be an attract demo for this. Like I said, at some point, I will make a separate video just for Spikeout, and I'll go into more detail about what's in the FAQ, and then a bit later, if this game's actually decent, which it looks like it is, I will put together like some kind of like documentation, some kind of formal documentation, so that people can like go on YouTube, see the basics of how to play the game. Because unfortunately, I was reading Reddit a while ago, and people were like, "This game seems dumb because I can't make sense of it because it's not explained well," which is the real problem, I would argue. Yes, it's definitely a Dreamcast-looking game. 1980, yeah, it makes perfect sense. This looks like a game that would have come out after Fighting Vipers. Here's how to play the game. Movement by lever. And unfortunately, the camera, again, there's again no dual stick camera controls. So you will have to muck around with you will have to kind of deal with the camera. So we'll get to that later. So there's a charge button. That's cool. So that's a nice bit right there. You can hold down the button. You can attack with the beat button while charging. That's cool. Combination of the beat button and the charge button. Add the jump button to strengthen the attack. Okay. Throw with the beat button. So you have melee attacks. When you're in a pinch, you can press the special attack button. So you have a punch, a kick, you have a beat button, a charge button, a special attack button, and a jump button. And there's also combinations, and those combinations are mapped to individual buttons, which I am not able to make sense of. Controls. There's your charge button, jump, beat, special. Special's on. That makes no sense, actually. So here's what I would do. I would put the special attack on the triangle. Jump should be on X, which makes sense to me. Punch and kick. Punch on beat. Charge on, well, see, that makes sense because you want to be able to hold down the button while you attack. So that makes things a bit more interesting. I'll tell you what. L1, R1. Yeah, you could probably use R1 for some of this. So how would you do this if you had to hold down one button while pressing the other one? Well, what you could do is You can combine. Combining seems good. So R1 is BC. So L1 and L2 are the jump attacks. Okay. So how would you do jumping in this case? Jumping could be C. Hold down square for the charge. And then press B. Okay, so that makes a bit more sense. We'll see if we can we'll see if that works. It might not matter in this. It might matter only for specific strategies, like specific speedrun strategies, I suppose, for certain characters. We'll figure it out. So I played as White and Linda earlier, so we'll mess around with the others eventually. We'll give everyone a chance. Like I said, if the game doesn't suck, we'll do different videos for each player. I'm sure there are people on YouTube who try to explain this game. But unfortunately, a lot of these retro gaming communities assume you already know the game. And what I try to do is I try to make videos that explain how to play it. So we'll see how it goes. That's one bit of slop I'm good at providing in this game. So I can hold down the charge button and attack, and then release the charge button. Then I release it, I can get a special attack in. But again, you have to work with the camera, so bear with me. I don't think that worked. Got him. Break the gate. That guy has a flamethrower, just so you know. Fight! Charge up the attack. That was a finisher. Or I could just do this. So you have to release it at some point, otherwise it doesn't do anything for you. Hey! Which way? This way. So I gotta practice charging one move while attacking with the other move. Which is an interesting mechanic, I think, for a game like this. Okay. The swivel in the hips is a bit much, but what are you gonna do? Everyone's gotta be bayoneted at some point. Here he comes. But again, you gotta deal with that camera. Stupid. No, let me go. That got me. Let me go. Let me go. Let me. That. Yeah, they'll hold me while someone else tries to attack me, so there is that. Missed. So now I have to deal with the camera again. Sorry, son. He's buggering off. Oh well. So I gotta practice and throw in a couple of special attacks too. Ah. Ah, bastard. Ah. Guess he's dizzied. Ow! Got him. Okay, he's dead. So if I beat up on one dude, the other guy's gonna attack at some point. Look at that car getting crunked. Gotta have a lowrider, am I right? Hold on, there's a life up over here. Thank you. Again, the camera is kind of annoying. What are you gonna do? I don't remember going this way before. That's right, I have a jump button. Let's try using it. Hey, guys. So is this just another way around? Missed. Ow! Who wants some? They're in here somewhere. Idiot. Not dead yet. Ah! Targeting isn't that bad. You just have to deal with the camera. That was always a problem with these 90s polygonal fighters, because you didn't have dual stick control until, like, what? You didn't have good dual stick control until, like, you know, what? The PS3 era? Like, Arkham Asylum was a huge deal mainly for that reason. Because they made the combat in such a way that you didn't have to worry about manipulating the camera so much. Idiot. Hey! Missed. Watch yourself. Give me the wrench. Ow, ow, ow! You know what? If you just press the charge button, you can also do some kicks. Good. Sit. That's the R1 button. That's R1. L1. L2. It's just an instant knockdown, I suppose. I can hold the button down, too. So I can hold the button, I can hold the L2 button down, too, if I have to. I want to say there are like 7 areas in this game, but the 6th one has to be... I want to say it has to be like the 7th one. No, there are 6 areas that you can go through, but the 7th one has to be unlocked. It's like Draga or something. Remember, you can grab them, so that's always good. Ow! You can hold down L1. What does holding down L1 do? Well, that allows me to do my charge attack with the spin kick if you need that. Again, this camera is not amazing. It's kind of driving me nuts. So I can only hit one enemy at a time, really, unless I do these spin moves. So L1 seems to work. I'm definitely in a retro mood right now. Like, I'm playing this. I'm playing a bunch of, Sega Genesis games. What's the other game I'm playing? I'm playing, the old NES games that Namco and Bandai Namco released, like, you know, what was it? Mendel Palace, La Mendel Palace. Ow! And I'm dead. Didn't use any of my special attacks, by the way. So we're gonna switch it up. We're going to white this time. So L1, holding down the L1. Is this a 4-player game or a 2-player game? But I think it's like a 2-player. That bad. Okay, let's do a little. Again, the camera is gonna be a problem. I'm gonna have to manage that while I do all this combat. Again, a top-down view might be better, but you know they didn't know any better back then. I don't think. We really do take Shadow of Mordor and Arkham City for granted. I mean, seriously, this camera is really annoying. Wow, dead. Getting my butt kicked here. So who's this guy? Oh, this is white. So who was the other guy I was just using? Got the MC Hammer pants. Ah, missed. Did an uppercut and I missed. L2. How about L2? I guess it's super attacks. We want to save the L2 attacks for super attacks. Because we have a special... the triangle buttons for that. this guy a boss, technically? Triangle. Ah! Interrupted me. Okay, give me that. It's running away. That's weird. Why is the life up running away? That's bad. Ow! Got me. Interrupted me. Problem solved. Full energy this time. So what is it? 6? So what is it? 6 levels, but you can skip level 6 to go to level 7, but it's not really like obvious. It's like an Easter egg. You're listening to people talk about this on Reddit. It's like, oh yeah, this game's amazing. It's like the best beat 'em up ever. But I'm like, what's with the camera? Again, I played, what was that game? Urban Rain. I had a lot of potential. I remember I owned that on the PS2 way back in the day. Sold it because the camera annoyed me. God, don't get me started on God Hand. I specifically said, I was on like Facebook saying this. I'm like, this camera sucks. It really sucks. I should not have to spend half my time babying this camera to enjoy a fighting game. So again, you can't take games like Shadow of Mordor or Arkham City for granted, because it's like they take that element out of the game as far as making it a problem. Like having to manage the camera is not a problem in this game. I'll take that. Thank you very much. To be fair, they wouldn't. No one. I won't see people making a game like this in the future. I mean, some people might make an homage to this, sure. Stupid. That was bad. L1, that's a super attack. I don't want to do that. L2. I want that. Ah! Trying to do some, Jackie-like flash kicks. That's nice. So yeah, L1. So you do have some crowd control moves, you just have to learn them. They aren't obvious. Who wants some? Ah! Give me that. Hey! I think he hit me before I unleashed that. Kind of interesting to see how this game tries to integrate the charge attacks into the regular combos. That's kind of interesting, actually. This is definitely like a Virtua Fighter-like brawler. It has that same vibe of, yeah, all the, like, being able to grapple is way better in this game than in Virtua Fighter, but yet it's obviously a different rationale behind it. Whoops. Here comes what's-her-name from Streets of Rage, I guess. Ah! If we're grappling. Okay, we gotta use our special attack. Hey, hey, hey! Okay, we got one more to go. I will play more of this game. I'm about to set aside a separate video for it. Oh, it's Spike. Is this guy? Is that like a Max in Streets of Rage? Let me go! Let me go! Let me go! Ah! Well, not like that. Don't hurt the kid. Okay, we got a problem. L2. L1. There you go. Some of those people were invincible during those attacks. No, you don't! Ah! Crap! Oh, I think he blocked my super. So we'll beat this guy and then we're done. Okay, so we tried a bit of everybody. We'll come back later and practice a bit. See what the game has to offer so that it makes a bit more sense. Yeah, they run away if you beat the boss before their minions go down. But I still want to grab that, so thank you very much. So that's one reason to stick around, so you can get some healing items, I suppose. Gate break bonus. Why did I get a bonus for breaking the gate? Yeah, this is definitely some PS1, PS2, some PS1 level brawler design with some PS2 level graphics. 60 FPS, low polygon. What are you gonna do? This is what you want, 60 FPS in a game like this. So yeah, I gotta do a separate capture where it's at 60 frames a second, because right now I'm just capturing from the PS4. But yes, things are really clean. Like I said, the visuals are really clean. Like, it doesn't look as good as, say, like, Yakuza Kiwami 2 or anything, but it does the job. So again, I mean, again, you want a game to run at 60 frames a second, right? So get around to it, guys. Come on. Hit! And you can grapple if you get close enough, so that's always good. That's another way to do some crowd control, I guess. Yeah, I never played, I want to say I barely played Die Hard Arcade back in the mid-90s. Because the Solde Italia pizza station had, I want to say it had a Sega, it had a Die Hard Arcade cabinet right next to the Neo Geo and the Super Street Fighter 2 cabinet. Which is how I played all those games. Oh, there's a gate here? Or do I have to beat someone first and then open the gate, probably? So where's he at? Is he down here? Where'd he go? Is there someone stuck down here? I guess he got... Remember, I'm on a clock. Remember, it's an arcade game. I'm on the clock. Hey, dude. Again, the camera sucks. So this guy just got stuck in the geometry, I suppose. Oh, the gate's all the way over here. What's the quickest way to get there? Okay, I'm sorry, that actually sucks. Because now I'm on a clock, and the game's going to make me walk all the way over here to break the gate. Because there's no way to run, is there? That's how you got double tap. You got double tap forward on the joystick to run. You can do some slide moves, that's good. So you got some slide moves when you stop the run, that's good. Ow! Bastard. So you don't lose your charge when you get hit, apparently. That's good. Idiot. Tiger uppercut! Yeah. Jumped over him. We're out of time, so we're gonna die. Too bad. Too bad the game let that guy get stuck in the geometry. But what'd I lose? Time ran out, what'd I lose? Okay, again, that camera is really bad. Couldn't see. So yeah, that's gonna be the problem. Like, this game has a lot of potential, but it's just the camera sucks. So this game with a fixed camera would be amazing. Or at least a better camera. I don't need full camera control. I just need a camera that's more manageable. So like, part of the challenge is finding out where you can go to keep to help the camera cooperate, I guess. Okay, where's he at? Okay, I tried to do my special. I think he tried to grab me there. Ow, ow, ow! Gotta use those things. You gotta use that L2 button. I think they can kick me out of it, too. Yeah! I think he kicked me out of my super attack. Yeah, I think he kicked me out of my super attack. Oh well. So it's not a guaranteed finisher in the game's defense. So we'll come back later to a separate video at 60 frames a second where we dig deeper into this game. This one seems interesting. And again, putting a game like this as like filler content and out, like if you skip through the first like 20 minutes of the game as far as the prologue goes, you can play this, you can play the Bass Fishing game, which I'll play in a second. Yeah, this is definitely like a die-hard arcade game. And since licensing probably won't let us play the die-hard arcade game without downloading ROMs, we'll have to deal with this, which is apparently a game everyone's always wanted to play. Because I want to say it only was there a Dreamcast version that came out in Japan or something? Or I think it was only an arcade game, and the only way people were able to play it was with ROMs. And, you know, people who were into, like, you know, brawlers and there were Sega fans from the era, I mean, sure. I'm sure they would seek out a ROM of a game like this. They can play it on their Dreamcast. Or at least they would download a ROM to play MAME or something. 'Cause, you know, people played Die Hard Arcade here in the... I remember, I think it was GamePro was a massive fan of it. But, I mean, I barely played it. Because from what I recall, it was basically like a bunch of QTEs with some brawling sections in it. So it's kind of like Shenmue, I guess. But we do talk about Shenmue on this channel. We played Shenmue. We played the original, we played the remaster of Shenmue on this channel, and I put like 3 hours of content. I'm like, you know what? I lasted a dozen or so hours on the Dreamcast when I played the Dreamcast version of that game. And then I put in another 5, I think I put in 5 hours and I rented it again. And I committed to actually kind of sitting down with it and being more patient with it. Because I was really mad when that game launched on the Dreamcast. But there were a lot of games, again, I don't have a lot of nostalgia for the Dreamcast. But I'm curious, like, about how well some of its games hold up. Obviously, I was a big fan of the fighting games on it. I played a bunch of Street Fighter Third Strike. Oh, was it Street Fighter Third Strike or I think it was Street Fighter 3 Double Impact, and I might have played Third Strike on it. If not, then I know I played the PS2 version. I want to say, because I did play all those games back in the day. I didn't hate Spawn, but I remember not really liking it. I remember not hating it, but it apparently wasn't very good. Power Stone was okay. I know a lot of people love Power Stone. It was okay. I avoided Virtua Fighter 3 entirely. I was told that thing was trash. So I avoided it entirely. But obviously I'm a massive fan of Virtua Fighter 4. And Virtua Fighter 5 on the PlayStation 3 is an exceptional game. Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown on this console, on the Yakuza games. The Yakuza version of Virtua Fighter 5 is kind of terrible. Now, this is, again, I've never played this game, but if you were to say Sega made an arcade game about bass fishing, this is probably what you would expect. If you played enough Sega arcade games, you would say, yeah, I kind of know what to expect. And I played this game for about 10 minutes before recording this video. It is exactly what I think it is. It is what you would expect a game like this to be. Sega crankbait, am I right? Move the lure and repeat. Try to hit a structure or a bottom. Which does what? How to use the minnow. Twitch rod. Oh yeah, different lures have different mechanics behind them. So you wiggle them and reel them in different ways. That's kind of cool. Yes, that's kind of cool, right? Each particular lure has its own particular ability and their own particular ways of manipulating it. That's that is really cool, actually. That's the kind of depth you don't expect from an arcade game. But it's the kind of like nuance you might want to add to a Sega arcade game in the 1990s. Sure, give it a bit more panache. And again, it has the presentational flourishes you would expect from a Sega game, from a Sega arcade game of the era. So yeah, if you want to play like the most Sega. Like, what if fishing were more like Sega? Like, what if Sega made a fishing game? This is the most Sega arcade fishing game possible. What did I use? I used the deep crank.
Select the casting point.
Select the casting point. Let's see, we have... Reel in with the L1 and R2 buttons. Cast with circle. Select lure with X. You can also use the D-pad to play, and that makes sense. How do you want to do this? So you can't map every button. You can only map the commands, and that's fine. You can reel with both buttons, I suppose. So we'll dump it over here. Remember, we're on a timer, so you got to get going. Don't dilly-dally. You're on a 3.5-minute timer. I think I have to reel this in to have it. You have to reel it in so that it dips. And it will try to eat it eventually. There we go. Hook it. Fish. And you hit the pier, and you get some bonuses there. I forget what directions you have to tug this thing in, but make sure you pull the wire in the right direction so that you don't break the line. So I'm pushing the line in different directions. Right. Reel. Reel. Right. We broke it. Okay, we'll let one get away. So you have to get 5,000. You have to get 5K, 5,000 grams to clear the level. Let's see. I did the deep crank. It's easy mode. So we'll cast it, and we'll wiggle it left and right. Reel it in occasionally so that it dips. That's where the big fish are. It's near the bottom, apparently. You got it. Hook it. Right. Reel. Right. Oh, you lost another one. I'm overcompensating. I got a couple of these before. Come on, eat it. You got it. Right. Reel. Left. This music's going a bit extra, as you would expect. Down. Right. Down. Right. Reel. Right. Reel. Down. Reel it in. Be careful.
Okay, an average size. Good job. I'm bonus.
An average size. Good job. Let's do it again. We got 90 seconds. So we're not going to be able to get a big fish. Maybe they'll do me a solid, because I lost 2 fish already. So I think I'm definitely done. Missed. Yeah. I pressed down a little bit, see if I can lure it. You got it. Hook it. Right. I guess the hit bonus is when it slams into a pier. Down, right, left, reel, right, down, down. Reel, left, reel, left, down. Almost there. Reel it in. Left. Holding left. Reel. Be careful. And we got it.
No. Small one. I'm bonus.
Aren't you a bit small for a stormtrooper? So we're not going to win. We're not going to clear. Oh, wait. We got a crab. I was expecting a crab. What do I get if I gather a lobster? Down. Down, there we go. Kind of jiggle it a little bit. Gotta reel it in so that it sinks. Come on, he ate it. Down. Gotta reel it in a bit so that it sinks. Come on. Down. And we're running out of time. Yeah, so we ran out of time. Oh well. We'll do a longer video. We'll do a longer bass fishing. We'll do a deeper dive in the Sega Bass Fishing a bit later. But let me just do one more run. And we'll try a different lure as well. We'll mix it up a little bit. I don't know if some lures, you know, are a little bit easier to grab. Got it. Down. Left. Ran into the reel. He ran into the pier, apparently. Holding down. Left. Down. Right. Down. Right. Down. Left. Hey, is this just a bunch of QTEs? I'm trying to reel it in, right? I'm trying to reel it in. Left. 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 Down. Left. Reel it in. Down. Left. 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 Reel. Left. Right. So how do I know when to pull in which direction? Left. Left. Right. Right. Left. Down. Reel. Down. Right. Left. Right. Left. Up. Down. So how am I supposed to grab it? Maybe it was too big. Oh well. You try a different reel, I guess. It's a floating minnow. Normal. Want an easy one. Reel constantly. Full range. Whatever that even means. Cast it. So I don't have to cast it. Okay, got it. So I didn't have to pull on that at all. I didn't have to tug on it at all. Down. Left, right. Down. Down. Left. Down. Left. Down. Right. Down. Left. I'm trying to reel in eventually, and then press the direction when that line tension goes up. Reel it in. Reel it in. Right. Right. Reel. Right. Right. Reel. Right. Down. Left. Reel it in. Got it. So I do have to reel it in eventually.
Oh, a big one.
A big one.
Rank in.
Rank in. Not good enough. We still need 5K. So you need one more fish. We'll stick with this lure. Yeah, we'll stick with this one. See how we do.
It's coming near.
It's coming near. Yeah, have to tug on it a little bit, I guess. Still chase after it. Yeah, that's the last one I need. That's the last fish I need. Down. Hit bonus. Down. Left. Reel. Left. Down. Okay. Reel it in. Reel it in. Reel it in. Left. Reel it in. Reel it in. Reeling it in. Right. Reel it in. Reeling, reeling. We got it. So we do have to reel it in, and then occasionally press the direction.
Good job.
We got it.
Special lure.
So we got the 5K.
Go to next area. Cape area. Enjoy your fishing.
My intellect went up. Whatever that even means. So we'll come back and play more bass fishing later. Again, we'll do a separate video just for Sega Bass Fishing. Because like I said, I try to get at least one video where I like literally do a deep dive into an old video game to try and understand it. I'm not going to cheat by looking at FAQs a little later. I want to see what I can figure out on my own. But yeah, at some point I'm going to want some Spikeout content that's actually explained. So we'll see how that goes. You know, it's on a somewhat related note. Yeah, the sun's actually going down a bit later, which is good for you, boy. It's, I mean, obviously the shortest day of the year is in December, but we're finally getting to that point where the sun might be up after 5:30. Of course, it won't really matter until we get to 6 o'clock, but yeah, this is that time of year where it's like 5 o'clock and it's really dark, and back when your boy was a kid, watched a lot of Ninja Turtles at 5 o'clock when the sun went down this time of year. It's a core memory of your boy, but we're not going to save any of that. So here's what I'll do. Let me load my content here, because there were a couple of other fights I can do. Well, yeah, so what I'll do is I'll make some more. What I'll do is I'll separate this content from the rest of the story. This content is just for getting to the arcade. So we'll do a separate video later. Where do I load my content? Yeah, we have the arcade content here. So I can load that arcade content so I don't waste any money. And I'll come back later and do more content where we actually make progress through the story. Which, again, so far is pretty good. At some point, our boy goes on a date. And our date joins our party, so we'll see how that goes. So I recorded this with my Skull Candy. This is the Turtle Beach Recon, actually. With plugged into the gamepad. It's at 30 frames a second. I'll do a separate video where I play the arcade games at 60 frames a second. And we'll move along from there, but I gotta get out of here. This guy helps with resetting the UFO catcher prizes. I don't care about that. Maybe it sounds like end-game content you might want to goof around in. I thought I could play these retro arcade games, but nope, you can't. I guess they're out of service. If we go to a real arcade on the other side of town, which will open up later in the game, there might be more games there. I want to say there are more games there. I'll double check the internet to see what games are available here in this. But like I said, Lost Judgment is the game I want to play because that has some Master System ports. I think it has like 8 of them. And like I said, I'm a sucker for playing old video games. I don't want to buy a power-based converter for my Model 1 Genesis. Nor do I want to, how do I say this? First of all, I'm not going to download any ROMs. I don't want to buy any Master System games, so I'm pretty much in this attitude where I'm just going to I'm going to buy a bunch of games that have emulated Master System games on them. I'm not going to complain. I think they have Enduro Racer, which is like an isometric racing game. They have a couple of other, I think they have an Alex Kidd game. They might have Wonder Boy there, and there's a couple of other Master System games I wanted to play. If they have Maze Runner, whatever that top-down 3D maze game is, I do want to play a bit of that, but I've been told it's very hard. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I have the only Master System games I played on this channel before are Golden Axe Warrior, which that was included as part of a Sonic and Sega All-Stars collection. So I played that emulated that was the first Master System game I played on this channel, or ever. And I played the original Double Dragon on the Master System when I was visiting the Video Game Museum in Plano. And it's actually apparently not great. It's terrible, but it's supposed to be more technically adept than the NES game, but it's just trash. I played it for half an hour. It's trash. But at any rate, we'll play more of this a bit later. And I'm very curious to know how deep this game goes. So again, if this game drops to like the $10 mark, it's definitely worth a buy, certainly. I want to say the other Like a Dragon game should be pretty cheap now, too. So I'll double check my collection, because I'm pretty sure I don't have it. So I don't want to make the mistake of double buying it. Because, you know, you be that guy sometimes. So I'm going to pay more attention to my collection. I took pictures of my games. So we're going to make it work. How do we bounce? You're going to bounce back to the title screen. Where are my settings? I have the audio settings. They did not change, right? Yeah. We'll crank that up. So I can hear myself think now when I play the arcade games. That's good. So we'll get back to that later. That bug configuration won't help me, no. Not for the arcade games. Hints for the arcade games? Don't be absurd. Yeah, don't be absurd. Well, I did save my game manually like 5 minutes ago before I started rambling. But yeah, I definitely want to play the other Yakuza games that I got. I have the Yakuza collection on the PS4, which I believe is Yakuza 3, 4, and 5. So I'll pull those out later and see what they got in there too. Because I always want to see what emulated games they include, like your motor raids and crap. Your Fighting Vipers is not great. Was it yeah, I think Fighting Vipers. I think Last Bronx was the sequel to that. Never played Last Bronx. I played the Sega Saturn version of Fighters Mega Mix. It was it's a lousy single player game. Like the AI sucked compared to Virtua Fighter 2. AI was really terrible, but it had potential. As a two-player game, it's probably great, but as a single-player game, it's trash. Really button mashing. Spikeout Final Edition, but you have to play in two-player, huh? Ugh, Virtua Fighter 3's in here. But I can't play against the AI? Yeah. And I sold my other wireless controller, huh? Yep. So you have to play with 2 players. But it's nice that you can just play it here without having to unlock the story. Oh well, I tried. You can always do the replay, that's cool. I'll be back. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. On the PlayStation 4. Video number 2 is done. Managed to do Spikeout and Sega Bass Fishing.